Hello, and welcome to Spiritual Sundays with Courses for Spirit. And we should be being joined very shortly by Here's Mason. And yes, so we're kind of in between Christmas and New Year. I was just thinking about it. In the West, kind of Western traditions, here's a little interesting fact. The New Year for the West used to be at the beginning of March, which kind of makes sense when you think about it. Hey, Mason, just talking about the
Hey,
date, just talking about the dates for New Year. Just a little bit of kind of research I was doing because it struck me today how strange it is. So I was on a train. I was traveling through Italy, and it's all frozen here. It's quite cold, and I
yeah,
was
yeah.
just thinking, why do we have New Year when the Earth's kind of frozen here and it's cold? Why isn't New Year in spring? And actually, until about 45 before the Christian era, it was March, when the Earth's coming back to life. But then the Roman Empire changed it to January because it was more convenient for levying taxes, things like that.
Man, I had no idea. The Romans, culprits again. They made it for taxes, like to collect. It was easier to collect taxes in January.
Well, it's something to do with just, doing all the stuff that you need to do to run an empire. So it had something to do with empire. So again, I guess it had something to do with colonialism as well, which is kind of interesting. However, anybody who's joining us live and wants to contest that, I'm very open to being re-informed because that was a very quick search on the
Hmm.
internet. I didn't have a lot of time to go into it, but I thought it was kind of interesting. Right.
It's yeah. It sounds like it wasn't moved for a better spiritual reason or a more honest, better reason. It just sounds like it was moved. The New Year was moved for like something more practical or just yeah, just not the most helpful, not the most deep meaning.
Yeah. Hi, Jeremy.
Hi guys.
Okay.
How are you doing?
Hello
Good.
everybody. Good.
Right. So, as I was saying earlier, I'm in Italy and I'm with family, so I'm going to jump off. I just wanted to say hello to everyone, and I am going to leave you two guys to it.
Okay.
So what we're going to do, I'm just going to, I guess I'll just turn off my video and turn off my sound, and
Okay.
and then leave everybody to have a wonderful Sunday. I'm in Italy, obviously meal times, it's a big thing. We're visiting family in Genoa today, so I'm going to jump off. Good to see you both,
Good to see you.
and hi and bye to everyone on YouTube Live.
Okay, enjoy the dinner, Mike.
Okay, see you guys later.
Beaming.
Right.
Let's see.
So, okay, so that just leaves you and I, Jeremy.
Yeah. All right. What did you want to talk about today?
Oh, I don't know. We could talk about. I don't know. I was just trying to think about that. Like, how about maybe connections between people. Like, how is it important, or why is it important, or something esoteric like the philosophy of balance we could talk about, or yeah, I don't know. Connecting with people is always like a really good idea. How about you? What do you think?
Yeah, connecting with people.
Yeah, yeah. It'd be fun to just talk about connecting with people or like why it matters or some of the people that you've connected with or that we've connected with.
Yeah.
Like yeah, what's important about that, or why would we want to seek out connecting with other people, or do we have trouble connecting with other people? If we do, what are they? How do we get over it through it? Things like that could be cool to talk about.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. I mean, what is it like, how come it's important to you to connect with people like in your life? Like what does it mean to connect with folks in your life?
Well, for me, I connect with the heart a lot. And
Oh yeah.
so for me, it's about heart. Um, there's some more intellectual connections, and then there's also emotional connections. And I find that for me, the connecting with people is heart based.
When you meet people, like when you meet people, like meeting someone is a form of a connection. So it's like an initial connection. Do you look for that heart connection, or do you just wait for it to show itself naturally, or how does it come for you?
Um, I usually, it's a bit of both. I often wait for that connection because that connection takes time. Sometimes the heart connection, um, let's see. I think it depends on the person. But there's a way of connecting where I feel there's um, what is there? It's it's connection with heart, and that comes from within. It connects. I connect with the third eye of people as well. So
Yeah.
it's more intellectual, and I'm not sure actually. How about you?
Yeah. When I connect with people, I guess talking about this, like my question was when you meet somebody, what do you look for in that connection? Do you find that heart space, that heart connection comes up? For me, when I meet people, I guess I feel uh like really sensory, I kind of naturally, without trying, notice things, maybe someone's body language, or maybe someone's how comfortable they are in the meeting situation. Most people you're introduced, hey, how are you? How's it going? But some people, it's like, are they in a rush? Are we just passing? Do they have time to stop and talk or meet somebody new? Or is it someone that's excited to meet someone new? Or I always try to meet someone like where they're at first. That always
Yeah,
seems to help. But so even if someone's like meeting with me and they're like, "Oh, hey, this is so and so, and nice to meet you, cool," and it's good to see you again, and they're on a rush, or if it's sometimes I'm in a rush and I gotta go, but then I run into someone and I stay and I'm talking for a lot of time. I try to I try to just appreciate it. I try to get happy about it. I try to look forward to meeting people and understanding what they're up to, what they're doing, where they're coming from. Uh, I really enjoy meeting new people. I start at the same place. Anytime I meet anybody, I'm always just really curious, naturally curious who they are and what they do. Like, not for a job, but what do they like to do in the world? What makes them happy? I really love it when people you feel a trust with someone somehow, and then they begin to tell you about themselves, or they trust you with, hey, let's work on our issues together, or like, "Oh, I need your help on my issues." Yeah, I just like problem solving with people.
yeah,
So yeah, I try to just start at the same place with everybody when I meet them. Like, can I do something for them or can they do something for me, even if it's just like a simple smile or hello?
Yeah. Yeah. I find that that's the curiosity is a good one. Actually being really curious about somebody, being really curious about where they're at, what's going on with their life. And yeah, even friends that I haven't seen for a while, I'm still, there's that curiosity. I think that's one of the main key factors is that being actually curious.
Hmm. Yeah. And they can come in so many different forms. I in therapy when I work, uh I love working one-on-one with people. I love coaching, I love counseling, I love just deep discussions by a campfire. But uh a few times it's come up in a therapy session between a client and myself. We've talked about, I'm gonna meet my new partner's family this Thanksgiving, and gives me a bit of anxiety, and I don't know what to say or what should I say or what are some good talking points, and just trying to come up with those kind of ideas. And I always say, maybe just try being curious, and maybe instead of trying to find out like some talking points, because that can sound kind of clipboardy or maybe inauthentic talking points. But I
Right.
guess they could be helpful. But I say maybe just try being curious. Like if you're just curious about them or what do they do? What do they like? Do they like talking about their job? Do they enjoy talking about their hobbies? Trying to find out if you guys like the same things or agree on the same things? And so curiosity could really you could really use it to fill a lot of space to get to know someone for a lot of meaningful stuff. So just yeah, sometimes if you don't know what to do, being curious, I found talking about that's helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I was just thinking about when I'm in a crowd or a situation where I enter into a crowd because I tend to not like crowds very much. And so I usually find somebody that um, that I would connect with. But if you don't know anybody, then how do you connect, right? And so that's where being curious, truly curious, I think that makes a big difference.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good one.
yeah. I wonder what if we were diving into the topic, and we don't have to dive that deep, but I wonder what if there's a connection or a link between you not liking crowds and connecting with people. In a way, it's like you step into a crowd, and on some levels you're connecting with lots of people. Maybe it's energetically, maybe your field mixes with theirs, or maybe it's like an eye contact thing or a physical thing, or yeah. I just wondered if you had any thoughts on how it relates to you stepping into crowds.
Um, I think it's the having many people look at you that makes a difference. I think because of my confidence. I mean, I have confidence, but in a group setting, I'm not sure why I don't have confidence. So, but you
Yeah,
know, if I was going to to speak, I took public speaking lessons. I went to Toastmasters when I was really young in order to be able to speak in groups and to hold the floor, so to speak, when entering into groups. Um,
yeah,
but I'm not sure why, personally, why I feel more shy with that kind of situation because I don't really need to, you know. There's no
yeah,
need for me to be shy, but I am. And so I usually find when I meet people one on one, there's even in a group setting, I connect with a single person, not single like they're dating or not dating, but just an individual, and I meet with
Yeah.
them. And so then I can actually get more feedback. So I think it might be energetic when I step into a crowd and there's a lot of energies around. I think that's might be what makes me a bit nervous, is that there's all
Yeah.
kinds of different energies, different personalities, and everything around.
Yeah. 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 I have confidence too, but I know maybe it's like a lot of pressure when you step into those arenas. I know you're a very sensitive person in a bunch of ways. So maybe it's, you sense everybody, you sense the energy of like multiple people. Maybe you're sensitive and that's why you like feel it, perhaps also.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you're the type of person because I know you that if you walked into a crowd, I'm sure you'd be thinking about them more than yourself on average. That's just the feeling I get. And so maybe, yeah, yeah, you're just open to signals from the universe and a crowd of people could be a big signal.
Yeah, it's a lot of signals. Yeah,
Yeah,
could be
yeah,
overwhelming.
yeah.
And so, and so with that, how I deal with it is I go in and I focus on one or two people very curious, and that curiosity helps me connect with whoever they are. And then so I focus on that signal, and so then that's less unnerving.
Gives you something to focus on other than the run-on story, the anxiety,
Yeah,
the reaction. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
so
to the crowd.
so yeah, and so that's where, and so friendships come with with that for me, where I'm curious, naturally curious, and then we either get on or we don't get on with ideas, sharing ideas that is more heady. And then there's some people I connect with in the heart level. It's like someone, have you ever met people that instantly you feel comfortable with?
Yeah. Yeah, I have. Yeah.
And so what was it that you've that made you feel comfortable?
Uh, okay. I met a really cool fellow, a really nice guy. Um, Met through another mutual friend. We met last spring, so maybe, like 8 months ago or so. And I found his, I just found his like politeness. He seemed like a really polite guy. And I found that him to be a really soft, polite, kind of courteous fellow. And I don't know, I just felt that to be trusting, soft, or nice. It's just made me really easy to get along with them. And actually, we became good buddies. And even I hung out with him the other day. For 8 months, he's been a pretty great friend. It's been cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And so is politeness.
Yeah, yeah, no, and I wouldn't say I would say that manners are important, but I wouldn't be like, oh, that guy's manners made him stand out from everybody else, and that's why I like him. That was just those particular signals I noticed at first, or didn't. Yeah,
Yeah. When someone's considerate.
yeah. I don't know why I feel like I notice that a lot, or I'm attracted to that in certain ways, or I want to reciprocate that.
in certain ways, you know. I'm really big
Yeah.
too with connecting with folks that are trying to figure out like where they're at or what we might have in common or where we could share ideas. And like through those similarities or through those common interests, I find that's a way to reciprocate. And I find reciprocity uh, like a good hallmark of a good connection or friendship.
Yeah.
Doesn't
So if you,
have to be that way always.
so so your politeness is matched with their politeness.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And you know, if two people just exchange that, not like a transaction, but if they just exchange that in fairness, that's a good enough for what is it for what it is. I think that's goodness out in the world, and I think, you know, as much goodness out there as possible is good. You know, that's why I
Yeah.
think even connecting with certain people, just just kindness going back and forth or politeness, that's worth connecting with someone else for, just that alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be kindness. There's a
Feel
politeness and a
like,
kindness.
yeah, yeah, I feel like I feel like spreading kindness and politeness feels good itself. Feels good to do that because it doesn't feel like anxiety, it doesn't feel like judgment, it doesn't feel like anger. You know, I used to walk through the world feeling those things all the time. Uh, you know, and so I work on that to this day, constantly, always a work in progress. So it feels good to be kind and it feels good to be nice. And uh, most more times than not, and of course this kind of sounds like common sense, but through kindness and politeness, that can really improve someone's day. That can really bring us take someone's sad mood and put them into a good mood. It could it can like really make a difference in someone's day, in your day, in anything. And just like that also feels good. So politeness, kindness feel good, connecting with people feel good. Those things lead to improving someone's day or improving someone's mood or improving someone's relationship, even if it's with you and yourself. Even if it's for a person you've never met before and you may or may not meet them again, it's just a person in a park. Like
Yeah.
even kindness exchange there, it just is it's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
you're helping somebody in a sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I think so. And I'm not trying to paint fantasy picture where all the time you and I are walking around in a gleeful mood, being extra polite to everybody. It's we're humans too, and we got to get through the world, and we have rush days and bad days. But I found it worth it to try to look for areas in life to be kind and polite. It just feels just feels like something I put 10% in of my effort towards all the time. That just seems to be where I'm at in life.
Yeah. And so you meet somebody new, there's a certain amount of kindness, a certain amount of politeness, and a certain amount of curiosity. And then that's you can
Yeah.
make connections there.
Yeah, actually, now that you said it that way, I would say that's probably the basic criteria or some of it that I walk through this world with, and I just try to introduce that to everybody. And and like you said, when you meet someone that you get along with, you meet someone that's kind of trying to do that to you or their own version of that to you, that connection can feel just awesome sometimes, really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, when somebody's really curious, not overly curious, but curious about you, They want to know what you actually think about something, how you actually feel about something. And I think that's where it's comes down to expression. You know, why is it important in making contact with people? Then expression is important. So being able to be known, to be able to express how you feel or what you think, and for it to be heard. So to have witness to how you feel.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like validation is one of these virtues we're talking about. When you meet another person and they see you, they meet you where you're at, they validate you, that kind of like imprints it on your own soul, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit deeper, or maybe you don't need that from someone, but maybe it helps. And like even when you were talking about earlier, entering a crowd, is it's lovely when we're heard in society and we're witnessed and seen, but sometimes walking into a crowd and we get anxiety and or these core beliefs that prevent us from expressing, and it gets really challenging. And so maybe if we're talking about anything today, it's like how do we walk forward with a little bit of strength and your your game plan of kindness, curiosity, and politeness, walking into that, like maybe that's just more of a helpful set of tools for this stuff.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Maybe, yeah. 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 And you know it when someone's too curious about you, don't you? Like it's when you said too curious. This balance part today when we're like, oh, we could talk about connecting with people or the philosophy of balance. I think I said that. Like a good what I meant by that was finding a balance in everything. Like so there's being not curious about anything and anybody, and you just imagine a conversation with zero curiosity. That's one end of the spectrum. And on the other end of the spectrum, it's let's say a person's so curious or just asking so many questions that you couldn't even get your own question in. And so that's like two extremes that are both uncomfortable. But if you could find that middle balance ground of curiosity, I think more than not, it's helpful. It's awesome. It feels good. Everything in those balance in the balance, you find the two ends of the spectrum and then you find the balance point. That always seems to be like where the answer is, the yin and yang balance.
Yeah, balance and the yin and yang. Yeah,
Yeah,
and so
yeah,
I'm
the
wondering when, if you were to go into a crowd, then how would you feel? A
well,
crowd of people you don't know.
yeah, I mean, I felt so many which in ways. I tried to, like, in this past year, I've entered different crowds in different formats, and I've had everything from anxiety, so like I can't go in there for 20 minutes. And I got my partner or a friend like talking me through it, and we're trying to figure out what's going on. And then I've got other times where I feel super happy, super confident. I'm like looking forward to it all day. And there's a group gathering, and you see it, and you run in, and it's like playful and fun. Yeah. So okay, so in the last year, I've had all of those feelings and different kinds, from
Yeah,
like a get together to a festival to an event to a workspace to a dance.
yeah,
Typically though, yeah, I never really have had, I can't think of like an actual game plan that I've had in my life. I try to just um yeah, be confident and remember how much fun it could be. I try to reflect on yeah, my own confidence and then go in with that.
yeah. So you
Yeah.
you will reflect on your own confidence before going into a crowd?
Yeah. I mean, in my mid 20s, like from age 25, 20, 24 to 25, I went to a lot of art festivals, music festivals, and I went out, did a lot of socializing, and I had a really good time doing that. And I got to know a really good community of people, and I had a lot of acquaintances. Um, I just loved seeing at different events, and a lot of these nice folks, I only actually saw them at these events, so that became like it just became a really nice social scene. Um, So sometimes I reflect on that time, how nice it was to go and see so many people that had so many things in common, and most of them knew each other or of each other. And so I just remember how fun it can be, how, oh, I got lucky with that time in my life and it was a really good time and I met so many good people. Stay in touch with a bunch of them. And so I think about that for a moment. Yeah. I just I I'm thinking that I naturally do. I don't think that's my game plan. I'm trying to recount what and I think about that a lot before I go do something fun with people.
Yeah, so you think about the past and how much fun it was, and then that gives you the confidence to go into the new crowd.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And but I'm trying to think like this one time I was telling you about when there was it was I went out with my partner. We went out to see some music, and I just had anxiety before I went in there. I just had anxiety about going in to a crowd of people where I was going to be in a crowd of people. And, you know, eventually, like when we stood outside and her and I talked together for maybe 20 minutes. And eventually we worked through it and I went inside and ended up having such a great time. Like the music was great, the people were great, everything was super fun. It was actually such a great memory. Um, but yeah, there was 20 minutes when I don't think I could pinpoint exactly what I was anxious about. In fact, I can't even really remember. I was trying to think about the time. I was trying to tell myself like this is a situation I've done many times. I feel like usually I feel pretty confident here. So I just tried a multitude. I'm sure of breathing, presence, talking to her, and I got through it fine. But yeah, like that can happen too. I just don't remember what exactly I was so anxious about. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes it depends on the time of day. Depends on whether we build something up in our mind as well. Like if we really build something up, then we have this expectation on ourselves, on the way that we should be. And so that expectation can bring in anxiety. That expectation of performing or of whatever's going to happen, that expectation can bring the anxiety. That's
Yeah.
often how I might experience anxiety, is there's this expectation of the way things are going to go. And sometimes it is true, there's maybe we have a sixth sense that the place is not going to be harmonious, and that there's going to be wicked, nasty people there, like mean people. Even though most often that's not true, we might have an intuition that things will be great, and so that subtle intuition, it's kind of tricky to pick out the difference between intuition and not intuition. Like, is it
Yeah.
intuition? Is it,
Yeah. Yeah.
how do you tune in to whether something is intuition or whether it's true, or whether it's not true.
Right. Like, yeah. I mean, I find meditation is the most powerful tool in that, probably, because you can kind of really sit with these feelings. But I also found learning about like in the therapy, we call it these cognitive distortions. So it's like a made up scenario, or it's a story your ego tells you from anxiety. It's like a bad projection, right? So there's like your intuition, which can tell you something
Yeah.
good or bad is maybe ahead. And, it's
Yeah.
good to follow your gut. It's good to follow your intuition. But then there is that, like, these, we call them cognitive distortions. So they're not true thoughts, and they come from your core beliefs. So they're attached to your core beliefs, and you know, usually
Yeah.
fear-based something. So I don't want to go to this party later tonight because everyone's going to see me and think this. And what does that really mean? Well, it really means like I'm not worthy. I believe I'm not worthy to this some degree. So you make up this story that's anxiety pressurizing, and the closer that party comes, the louder that story plays. And yeah, so what's the difference between that and your intuition? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's, I think that is like a whole practice that we could talk about, we could do, take notes on. That's a whole cool thing. Definitely.
Yeah. And so this cognitive dissonance, this kind of cognitive disharmony that is made up, and intuition. So you find that a solution to that would be meditation. Like meditation will be something that helps you
Well,
cut through that.
in a way, yeah, in a way, yeah, because there's so many ways to describe meditation and what meditation is. But one way that I thought of that resonates with me, that kind of links to all this stuff we're talking about, is I feel as though meditation, the practice itself in its many different forms, can bring things to the surface. Like it brings things from in you, like out of you. So it can bring out your inner wisdom. It can bring out your emotions. It can bring out your trauma. It brings energy from deep within under the layers, like it rises. And I feel as though the opposite to that is like a suppression. So life pressurizes you. We get anxious. We don't want to talk about our problems. We get traumatized. We get damaged. And those life factors like suppress, and they push in. So they kind of do the opposite of meditation. You can hear me okay, right? I'm not breaking up my internet. It's okay.
Yeah, I can hear you okay.
Okay, good. So the Okay, so, and I'm talking about your feelings, your energy, your emotions, your thoughts, your beliefs, core beliefs, like I mentioned. All of this stuff is in it's invisible, but it's in flux. And I think meditation brings it up, and life and hardships suppresses it. And so when you have a core belief about yourself, like I'm not worthy, you know, I feel like you could think deeply on that. You could do some therapy, you could do some cognitive behavioral therapy, and you could write down on a piece of paper all the good things in your life, all the points that prove you're a good person and that you are worthy, all your friends' testimonials. Like you could apply it, you could go after it logically, the answers. I also find you could meditate on a question like that. Am I worthy? And you could sit with that question in meditation, in stillness with yourself. And if you ask yourself that question and you give your body the chance to answer, certain things will arise. Like information, but maybe it's not an answer, information will arise in your body. I feel like you could then use that information to go forward. Am I a
Yeah.
worthy person? You could meditate and Maybe the truth of yes, you are comes out. Maybe it comes out in your tears. Maybe it's a quick realization. Or the answer could be no. Maybe your core belief comes up. You're meditating on it and you're like, no, I don't think. Your mind comes in, or some form of an answer tells you, like, no, you're not a worthy person. And then it's like, okay, well, like, why not? And then you ask yourself, your being, you ask the universe, like whatever you're connecting with in meditation, yeah, you throw that question out there. Well, why not? If it's your ego just saying that to you, like come up with a good constructive answer. Give me some proof. Don't just tell me that. Or is source or spirit or your own divine wisdom within able to now come out of you because you're giving it time and space? Meditation is giving your own body time and space. That's another way to describe it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think meditation could help slowly, break the cocoon of like these limiting beliefs, these core beliefs, these thoughts that keep us trapped in anxiety and disempowerment. It's real stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I also wonder about affirmations. Affirmations where, anxiety might come in, and maybe that question comes in like, am I worthy? And the answer is no. And then you contemplate, why not? And then whatever comes in, comes in. And then after that, maybe after that, then we could bring in an affirmation, like something like, I am worthy, or I am confident, I am loved, I have intuition, something
Yeah,
like that, maybe.
definitely, definitely. And you know, it's those like a mantra or an affirmation, I believe those are really powerful because I believe those are just the things that get us into the mess in the first place. I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy. Like it's maybe it's not a powerful statement once on its own, but if that's something that you've played on repeat in your own mind and you've heard yourself say it 10,000 times for 5 years, if you hear anything long enough, you'll start to believe it. So to just tell yourself, oh, I am worthy and I am lovable, maybe it doesn't exactly change your mood or change everything in that second, but it's maybe because you've heard it once versus you've heard negativity 10,000 times. So, and maybe you just believe yourself. Maybe you're like, oh, wow, maybe I am worthy. Maybe I should just try that on today. Maybe I should just walk around and like fake it till I make it. Maybe it just I am worthy. And you could feel the change right there. Or
Yeah,
maybe it just takes some more getting used to. Maybe you got to create those neurons. Maybe you got to create the new neural pathways that you can rely on and get out of the old grooved ones that have just used so much that you're into your comfort zone. So
yeah,
if you know, and again, a meditation or giving your body time and space to explore that affirmation. Like if you just say it, I am worthy, I am lovable, and you just do a 10-second meditation on how does that feel? If you say it out loud, not in your head, but if you say it out loud and observe how you feel, if you feel anything, if you feel any slight buzz of positivity, any minute change in your body at all, maybe that is something worth grabbing and building on. Maybe that's like where that's the seed that turns into the, jungle that's going to help you out.
yeah. And that's where affirmations can be tricky, in that we need to have an emotional connection with them. Something that we can actually connect with. So if there's an affirmation, let's say, I'm worthy. Well, if there's the the default mode network that works in our brain, if we say I'm worthy and then instantly there's an echo back, no, you're not. I am worthy, no, you're not, then maybe strategically changing the wording. So we're finding wording that works with us. Find wording that will that we can connect with.
Yes. Yeah. It's about kind of digging through to get the answers. Like, so that's a layer, like I'm worthy. No, I'm not. Like I'm worthy. No, I'm not. So, okay, like that's a layer. That's something your body's saying, like, hey, we're not going past there. Can't get any deeper inside. So yeah, what are other words that could get through that, around that? Could you could you do stretching? Could you do breath work? What could you do to soften those layers, to loosen it up so that like the I am worthy could actually penetrate to the heart?
Yeah,
And
that's true.
sorry, also like you said, you have to be believable. You have to be, I mean, if I were to say the affirmation, I'm a spaceman right now. I'm gonna be an
Yeah,
astronaut. It's like probably not in this lifetime. I mean, I'd be realistic to say I didn't choose that path. I haven't studied enough to do that. So the answer is no. Or if I tell myself, oh, like, I host some meditations and I'm a worthy guy. Like, definitely because of how I can feel, that's way closer to the truth than me having a spaceship going to space
yeah,
here. It's like so you can feel, right? Like you could feel as things become more real. Am I lovable? Am I lovable? Say that to yourself for a week, a month, a year, and compare how those two things feel. As like
yeah,
easier said than done.
yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
That's where finding the connection and finding the words that will work for you. Like I remember at one point, um, when I was suffering from depression, I would say, "I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy," and I'd say that over and over again. And after 20 minutes, of course, a voice comes in and goes, "You're not. What do you? This is a load of bullshit. You're not. You're not effing happy." And so I was like, "Okay." So I was like, "Well, what else can I actually see?" And I said in my mind, "Well, clarity. I could imagine clarity." And so instead of happy, there was clarity. And so,
Mm.
and then peace. Peace came in. And so then I said, I am clarity, I am peace. I am clarity, I am peace. I am clarity, I am peace. And eventually, like, because I could connect with those words, then those words came true. I brought them more into my being because I could connect with them emotionally. So I don't know
Mm.
about happy or not happy, but clear and peace, clear and at peace, clear and at peace. That's what I was able to do. And so with recommending making recommendations to people out there, that if you can find, when you're looking for affirmations, make sure that you pick an affirmation that you can actually that you resonate with, uh, an affirmation that you can connect with emotionally. And it might take some time to find different wording for it, but eventually you will find the words that work for you at that
Yeah.
time. And when you repeat them, you become more clear or more at peace, or you become more clear and more at peace, or then eventually maybe it is a kind of happiness. And so that's
It's a
something that,
pretty exercise.
yeah,
Sorry, Jeremy.
yeah. So maybe if anybody's listening right now, or those that are listening, Maybe there's um, an affirmation that you can find. Maybe there's some words you can find that are really comforting or that are inspiring or that are interesting to you that you can connect with.
I really like that. Happiness is a good goal, but then in the moment, it was like maybe clarity or peace was more attainable or more realistic, or those were just bigger portals to jump through at the time.
It can be anything, yeah.
How would we do it? How would it be done in a meditation? How would an affirmation or addressing a core belief or sitting with even connecting with yourself, how would even connecting through yourself go through a meditation? Like, what would some of the word choices be, do you think?
Um, well, normally you take breathing
Yeah. Yep.
and then you go within. So often that's done by closing the eyes or
Yeah.
not, by closing the eyes and then going within. And in our inner world, which is an amazing world, we have so many things in there. We have memories, we have thoughts, we have emotions. There's also other dimensions. And so by taking the time just to breathe and be quiet in the inside, when the voice starts to arrive, then because we have that inner dialogue, then our inner dialogue we can guide like a ship in the night. We can guide that ship to whatever waters that we want. So we can guide that our thoughts into whatever direction that we feel we need.
Just making a note. Cool that we could guide that ship, like to wherever we feel.
Yeah, because if you were to look at a map, there's a whole, there's infinite space. And so our mind may have a map of the globe or may have the universe. But wherever that map is, we can set our heart on a certain destination and then eventually we'll be led there. Or if we set our mind to a certain destination, then eventually we'll find our way there.
Yeah. Like putting our consciousness or our awareness, our mind, our soul, our energy in that direction.
Yeah,
I feel like there's this ultimate direction of things. I feel like going towards heaven or wholeness or oneness or positivity. I mean, so all this stuff about connecting with people positively, with politely, that feels good to make someone else feel good. All of this feels like it's pointing to some direction. Like it's like helping people evolve in a, you know, like I feel like it's like helping the whole planet one person at a time. I feel like it all points to this one healthy direction, right? I feel like it's one project. This is all one project that these are all little parts to this one big project. Yeah,
yeah,
cool.
yeah, that's true. And
So,
eventually is
um,
peace and paradise and heaven.
yeah, I used to
It's like
think that I used to think that happiness was like heaven. I used to think that happiness was what I was supposed to find. Are you successful? Are you happy in life? And I thought that those events I talked about earlier, like oh, this social scene and hanging out with my friends and going to different venues and such, I thought that was happiness. And of course, like I was happy most of the time. Um, but it's like you can't do that all the time. And so I thought that when I wasn't doing that, like I wasn't happy. So it'd be a struggle to like find happiness sometimes, even though it was always like in abundance and right around the corner. And I started finding, oh yeah, peace, like contentment. Like contentment is not happiness, and contentment is much more sustainable than happiness. Happiness is like a treat. It's like a dessert in this human experience. This human experience is so full of everything on the spectrum. Happiness is one of it. But yeah, the underlying thing is contentment if you can get there.
yeah, content.
Yeah.
It's true.
Um, Speaking of happiness, contentment, and all, we talked for almost 20 minutes over it, but not like time's the
Yeah.
most precious thing. But I just wondered, do you want to stop there, or do you want to do a meditation at all that connects us to ourself or any of the stuff we're talking about?
Yeah. Did you want a guided meditation?
Yeah, I'll do a short one. Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
So, so let's, yeah, I just want to finish by saying it was good. It was good to connect with you today. It was good to connect with everybody watching. Um, usually we do a discussion room. We'll open that discussion room after this meditation for a few minutes, uh, and we'll discuss there. But yeah, we'll just finish today our group, our online session today with everybody here that's here watching live. We'll finish that with a meditation that relates to ourselves, connecting with ourselves, that relates to finding your inner power, finding your method for just going in that direction that you want to go. I mentioned that direction of being nice, being kind, being this one flow I'm trying to achieve. It's so whatever yours is, whatever your direction is, whatever your destination is, wherever your heart, mind you want to place, we'll consider that in this meditation. So as we begin, as we kind of just slowly shift from conscious discussion, paying attention into the inner space, into your inner space, into a meditation. As the transition goes, just notice right now, as we begin right now, align your posture, get ready to breathe in a way that's comfortable, and just notice how your transition into meditation is. Connect with yourself while you're preparing to connect with yourself. Just start to notice how you feel sitting down, laying down, or standing up, however you want to do this. And always begin, if you're comfortable, with one deep breath. Just a setting the tone, deep breath into the nose, feel your belly and your chest expand and then out. And with one more breath, just pay attention to your body and let the breath out. Now allow your breath to take the form it wants to take. Allow your body to become comfortable in the way it needs to be so that your consciousness, your mind, can explore freely. Try to try to notice what comes up and try to encourage that which can come up. As we discussed earlier, perhaps this break, this stillness in time and space could give room for that which is inside of you to arise. Try to imagine what's inside you coming to the surface because you're allowing it to. It wants to come. It just needs a listening ear or for you to say it's okay to come out. So as you're breathing, just start to notice what comes up. You can turn your camera off. Okay. Stay in stillness. Just try to notice what's coming up as you pay attention to your breath and you pay attention to what's happening in your body. Try to notice if it's one thought, string of thoughts. Is it an emotion? Try to notice if you can connect with something that's coming up. Try to notice if you can pick one thing and hold it at the same time as holding yourself. And pick something that's coming up for you in your mind's eye, your heart space, your body. Is it physical? Is it mental? Is it emotional? Try to hold that with loving kindness, as well as trying to hold yourself. So observe something meaningful to you, something important that's coming up, and your breath, your posture, your body. You're trying to pay attention to these factors of your reality. What is your awareness looking at right now? Looking at your body, looking at what's coming up inside your body, and you're noticing how you feel about that. What is your reaction to what's coming up? You're holding what's coming up for you in your mind's eye, you're holding it in your awareness. And as you observe it, you're looking at that and you're also observing how you're reacting to that. Comes up within you, and how do you react to that? And without trying to change anything or repeat anything or control anything, you're just getting comfortable looking at what's coming up and how you're reacting to it. How you reacted to it. How are you reacting to sitting with it? Has it has it changed? Has it dissolved? Was it too hard to hang on to that? Are you moving on to something else? Do you want to move on to something else? Can you bring it back? Can you bring that thing back that you were noticing? Can you bring that back with your recall? Can you sit with it again? This process that we're in is a form of getting to know yourself. It could be an easy or a strenuous form of curiosity. This is a form of meditation where you allow what's coming up to arise, to sit with it, to observe, to be curious, to get to know yourself better. As you practice this meditation legs, your meditation muscles, this ability, this skill becomes more defined. Curiosity that you build with yourself, showing yourself that it's safe to do so, comes with you. It becomes a part of you, and you take it with you into different social settings where you meet other people, where you might want to be curious, where you might want to connect with someone. What are you doing in this meditation that you could do with another person? How are you feeling yourself? Can you feel what there is to be felt? Can you feel perhaps with another person? With just a quick glimpse inside ourselves in this way, I want to conclude this look with a form of gratitude. Perhaps you could conclude this look with a form of gratitude. Perhaps you could casually, respectfully, or kindly say, thank you for the insights. Perhaps you could just feel gratitude for this moment. Perhaps if there's anything that you saw within this look in yourself that you like, or that you're attracted to in some way, that you think may deserve a second look, perhaps you could appreciate that. Perhaps you're still curious. You'd like, or I would invite you to feel that gratitude for a moment. And when you're ready, come back to this space to conclude. If you want to sign off, you can sign off. If you want to come back, if you want to continue, you can. If you want to join us, you can. But we'll bring it back to this space, come back to your five senses, come back to your consciousness. And from here, we'll say good day. I see you're back, Jeremy. I would say to everyone, enjoy your Sunday.
Enjoy your
Got
Sunday.
lots of love for you. Yeah, enjoy your Sunday. Got lots of love for you. And we're going to head out.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, Mason, for running us through that.
Of course. Yeah.
I've got some great things to think about.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, makes me feel good. Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're gonna we'll close there. So thanks, Mike. I don't know if you can hear. He's probably having fabulous Italian dinner. Uh,
Yeah.
and do you want to go into a discussion group, or do you want to just end there today?
Let's end there for today.
All right, yeah, cool, man.
Okay. Namaste, everyone. Namaste.
Yeah, yeah. Namaste. Love you guys. I'll talk to you soon.
Love you guys.
Bye for now, Jeremy.
See you next Sunday.